All right, Yarok Field. For people watching live right now, Stream Decker does currently appear to be having issues. I pinged the person that's in charge of that, so hopefully they'll poke it shortly. This is almost the same deck list we played last time. I'm trying 3 Maelstrom Pulse in the main, and I've moved the Murderous Riders to the sideboard. This has been a very good addition to the format. Super flexible, answers a lot of miscellaneous problem cards. Pretty reasonable in the Field of the Dead Mirror if they get ahead of you on zombies. So, let's go ahead and dive on into some constructed matches with this and see how it goes. Give me Zengrief. Thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I think this is a mulligan. The lands are super awkward and doesn't really do anything particularly quickly. I guess it gets to... Nah, I'm going to keep this, actually. The Field of Ruin means I get to play turn 3 Reef, which I think is fine. Currently cashing out my 401k to buy gems on Arena. At least that economy is stable. Yeah, I mean, Dibbles, some things need to stay open. Supply chains for necessary things like groceries and cleaning supplies, people that work in those industries, we need them still. And the things like that we really need to stay open is why it's important that everybody that works and does things that we don't actually need stay home. So that way things are less bad and stressed for people that we need out there still working to so people can survive. Scrylock, thank you for the $20 tip. I appreciate that. I'll get that deck added after we're done streaming today. So, would I rather Cavalier first or Yarok first? I think I can afford to be greedy in Yarok first here. Perfect. And even if they kill Yarok now, I can Pulse plus Risen Reef next turn. Bye, Felicia. This is probably a matchup where Disfigure is not very good. Trophy sounds great. Rider sounds great. I'm trimming Arboreal Grazer. Click submit. Just pull up a little bit, be a little bit more interactive. Sounds good, Paulo. Will do. Thalia plus Meddling Mage. Nothing that I've played with yet, no. Or played against. So, unfortunate here, the way this land in Grazer works, I can't turn 2 Reef guaranteed here. If we hit an untapped land and we get to we get to play a 3-drop next turn, it'll be real good. Yeah, 31 lands later. Exactly. S&P is up 9.7% since January 2017, and Dow Jones Index is up 6.9%, but as of December, they were up 41 and 43%. Yep. How low can you go? How low can you go? How low can you go? probably going to get run over here. I don't think I could afford to miss a land drop this turn. We're on the draw and stump. We kept a 3-lander. We kept a 3-lander in our 31-land deck and missed playing a 4th land from hand on 4. On 3? I guess it was on 3 technically, huh? Because we accelerated with Grazer. If that's not peak Magic the Gathering, I don't know what is. Which, this is actually kind of a good example of why I think this deck should be playing as many lands as it is. Because you lose way more games in this deck to not having enough lands than you'll lose to having too many. I mean, as far as non-land draws go there, that one was pretty good. We don't really care about Vivian. I guess she makes it likely for them to find another questing beast, but like... we can just, like, find an untapped land for Cavalier this turn. We're in a good spot. Hey, Stream Decker's live again. I need to know how unlucky we were mathematically. I must know. Tell me. Gosh, I think standard would be a lot better if field was legal. But again, I'm not really gonna push for that because I get to play it here at least.
You can't stop nature.
You can't stop nature. Okay. Okay. Whew. You know, just like we avoid calling things cancer and things like that, let's not make comparisons to COVID and things that go on in my card game. Please and thank you, chat. You're better than that. Flip Murderous Rider here to be able to kill Vivian next turn. Now, Vivian doesn't ult till 8, chat. We got a Murderous Rider.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
2 Questersons. Yeah, you can purchase all of the anything on Arena. You can buy any of the historic anthology stuff you can pick up with wild cards. Go. Sure. Feel like we're pretty incredibly unlikely to lose from here. I'm going to go to 2, and then next turn we gain 12 with Uro. It's casual gain 12s. No big deal. You could definitely describe Uro as an above average addition to this archetype. Whee! Whew! You love to see it, chat. Had to discard to hand size. Very unlucky. I didn't play the temple, chat, because I want to have a land in my hand to make zombies with next turn. After I kill this virulent plague. Okay, alright. They're not going down without a fight, chat. They're not going down without a fight. You love to see it. Ooh, that's a ghost quarter for my Field of the Dead.
The wilds are my shield.
Okay. So, like, and this is a problem with expectations a lot of Magic players have, I think. Cards like Ghost Quarter and Virulent Plague don't just kill Field of the Dead on their own. Like, I feel like people expect sideboard cards to be Stony Silence. And that's just not how Magic works. That's not how good Magic works. You shouldn't even want Stony Silence type effects to be the cards they're printing. Single cards that get printed and like fully hose an archetype, they suck. Like, our deck is effectively a combo deck. You need pressure to go along with your disruption, or it's not good enough. Yes. Well, that would require me to cheat because Pulse is a sorcery. This is Field of the Dead number 3. This is Field of the Dead number 4. There are 9 cards in my deck at the moment. One of which is a copy of Nexus of Fate. So again, games like this are exactly why there's a Nexus of Fate in my deck. Thalia does not tax Theros gods. Correct. Risen Reef is not drawing cards, it's putting them into your hand. So we'll, my opponent's not gonna get another turn here. The game is over. We take all the turns from here. Which, you could probably make the argument, and I think this is a reasonable argument to make, because it's an argument that's existed in this format for a while now, that one of the axes of attack you should have for beating our deck, you don't get, because Nexus of Fate is legal in this format. Believe it or not, Nexus of Fate is probably a stain of a Magic card design that should be shift deleted. Nexus of Fate is banned in Historic Best of 1, which the client is not good at communicating. It is legal in Historic Best of 3. Fed says it's going to offer an additional unscheduled $500 billion in overnight repo funding. How does money work anyways? Who knows? It's all smoke and mirrors, chat. It's all smoke and mirrors. Dance for your decimals and your pixels in your bank accounts, peasants. But Jeff, you need to understand that the Fed injecting money like that isn't like the government spending that same amount of money. But Jeff, it's just an interest-free loan, Jeff. They're gonna get that money back. All right, fine. Take every student loan in the country and turn it into one of those interest-free loans then, please. Thank you. At a minimum, do that. You could do a lot more than that. But if that's the argument you want to take, that it's fundamentally different, that's what you should do at a minimum. They're buying back bonds which may or may not ever pay back. Okay. Alright, so we really need green mana. We have a scry land here at least. This can hopefully find us more green. Yeah, we need a green source, right? Isn't money supposed to have a real world counterpart that you're printing against, or my old timey? That hasn't been true in a long time from my understanding. This could be a matchup that gives us trouble. When this archetype was standard legal, the Dinos matchup was definitely not easy. Although I think I just want to play a 3/5 lifelinker. That sounds great since we have the untapped land. The UK government just released funding for 8,000 new hospital beds. This is the same government that cut 17,000 of those beds over the last 15 years. Oh, at least these trade, I guess, right? Glass half full. Yikes. Okay, if they attack with the 3/3, I get to trade with it. Alright, take 12, go to 5. Probably dead here. If I get to untap with Yarok, we're in an absurd spot. That's usually like the stabilization window in this deck. You'll have these turns against the aggro decks where it's like, okay, if I get to untap with Yarok here, we can win the game still. And we don't get to, because Rotting Regisaur has haste and they hit us for 8 on these two. This is the type of matchup where there's cast downs in the board for. So, cast down, rider, trophy. I don't think this is a Disfigure matchup. This is a Nexus out matchup. This is a Field of Rune out matchup. Trim a Risen Reef. I think that's fine. Close game. Disfigure can sometimes be good enough in conjunction. Disfigure can sometimes be good enough in conjunction with their thing dealing 2 damage to their own creatures. Big Nasty, thanks for 3/4 of a year, welcome back. Yeah, I think the Yarok field deck is a better... The Yarok field deck is a better post-board deck against these aggro decks than the Bant deck is. It's a worse linear deck game 1. You trim Arboreal Grazer in the matchups where you are grinding. That's okay, the Unode. Thanks for the 1/4 of a year. Welcome back. So, Saku, as a general deck building lesson, you don't want to look at cards when tuning decks and go, that has good synergy here, let's play it. In my opinion, that's the wrong way to approach deck building. What you should be doing is you should be looking at your deck and going, what problem does my deck have, and how does that problem get solved by making a change? So my question to you would be, what problem are you solving by adding Chupacabra to my deck? Our start here should be really pretty good on the play. We get to go land into Uro into Reef next turn, and then we just need a payoff. Their start's gonna be pretty good again, though. They have almost an identical start to last game. Chupacabra has a borderless option, making it a strict upgrade over... That's funny. All right. What if that changes it, right? So now I'm going to put Fabled Passage into play off of this. And then I'm going to play Arboreal Grazer, put Field of the Dead out. And then we can crack this, get another zombie. Yeah. Seems great. They turn 4 Field of the Dead. I believe it is. I think that's okay in the format where people can die on turn 4, though. I feel like Bajuka Bog is the wrong approach to attacking graveyard decks because we don't have a way to search it up. I feel like if you actually want to, like, attack the graveyard decks, you just go full non-rotating format and just play Leyline of the Void. You only have 1 swamp and no islands, right? That is wrong. Please look at the deck list. I'm gonna play out these Grazers because I would like to just have blockers in play so that way we can fill my graveyard for this. Although, if I didn't play these, I could have activated Castle. Yeah, maybe I should have activated Castle there. I didn't stop to count that. If we get Galted next turn, we could very easily die. Yep. We definitely have some draws that can be competitive against Galta, but this just wasn't one of them. We had good ramp to start, but then past the ramp, we didn't have a Cavalier, we didn't have a removal spell, we didn't have a Yarok. Okay. So... Angry Boy, thank you for the brand new Prime Support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Oh no. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. They had our number, chat. They had our number. Dino's deck looks really sweet. Looks like a great way to attack Field of the Dead. Big, giant, hasty monsters that don't die to Flame Sweep. Sounds excellent. Trample. Trample as a keyword is rude, right? All right, in it to win it. There's no historic premiere events for you to net deck from. Well, if you haven't done so already, you should check out my website, jeffhoagland.com. There's a button at the top that you can click Historic Decks. There's a hand-curated list of things I keep up to date, of things I like in the format. As we discover things that I like, I make additions to there. As the format changes from set release to set release, I make adjustments of things that are already up there. In the words of Joe Biden, do I look like I know what a JPEG is? Yikes. Dinos ran us OVER. Yikes. So, need to draw an untapped land next turn to hit a 5-drop on time. This at least gives us something to cast if we miss. Oh, you bounced my Risen Reef. That was nice of you. Yeah, Dinos and Historic sounds great. Thanks for showing blue-white control. Even though I got sucked, it was F&M. I got to grind Platinum and Historic. Yeah, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm actually curious to see what the blue-white decks end up looking like against the Field of the Dead decks. I feel like if they play a bunch of Dream Trawlers, they probably have a real chance. I don't know. I don't currently have Dinos in the queue, I don't think. Yeah, I don't currently have historic dinos in the queue. As a heads up. They could be escape shift deck as well here. They're a Bant deck with some ramp elements. Maybe I'm supposed to just play the Cavalier there because it gives me the better chance to hit field. Wargy Corgi, now you have historic dinos in the queue. Thank you for the support, I appreciate it. So this only makes 14 power worth of zombies, right? You're playing a bunch of Crucibles and Field of Ruin plus Ghost Quarter. That seems aggressive. I'm stupid. My Twitch chat changed to pause scrolling while I'm over it, but it really doesn't. Yeah, 7, like they spent a card to do that. Like, next turn we get to like Cavalier of Thorns. Those are some rookie zombie numbers. If we hit a thing off of this, we're gonna bury them. Hey, what's up, oldest son? How's spring break?
Good.
You having fun? Stay home days are the best?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, whoop, 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 whoop.
I think you want Katie.
Oh, they're playing Nexus of Fate. Of course, that makes sense.
I get one Katie. I get one.
You can take the bag upstairs.
Oh. Okay.
Tell mommy, and she's not gonna let you eat all of it, but that's okay.
That okay?
Have a couple.
A couple?
Yeah. Ask mommy how many you can have.
I mean, have 5.
I don't know about 5. Close the door behind you. All right. So if they have another Nexus, we're dead. Jeremy says there's a good chance they're playing 4 Nexus of Fate. Cheddar is no cheese. Thank you for the entire year support. Let's get your sword to go with that shield. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Huh? Lordy, lordy. Lordy, lordy. Do 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 do. You love to see it, chat. You love to see it. Daddy said I could have a couple. Daddy said I could have 5. You should have pulsed first. If you hit field with Yarok, you'd have killed your zombies too. Yeah, I guess that's true. Okay, I was thinking I would get zombies, but you're right. This goes both ways. So they are flipping this, though, and they probably have 4 copies of Nexus in their deck, so there's a good chance we don't get another turn here. Okay. Yeah, I agree with Warren. I think we're behind game 1, and I think your assessment that we're up post-board is very accurate. I think we're up by a good bit post-board. So I have 5. I think I have exactly 10 mana, right? This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I could do this and then double Cavalier. Yeah, definitely Wargame. Whee! All right, I mean, if we get another turn, we're in a good spot. We might not get another turn, though. Bye, friends. All right, so I'm going to put the Yarok back on top of my deck, and then next turn I'm going to go Yarok Cavalier.
I'll protect you.
If you burn it down, it will grow back up bigger than before. And now, just for reference, my opponent has cast a sweeper the last 2 turns now. So two turns in a row, my opponent has killed all of the creatures in play. Thanks for the 11 months, Soren. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And again, if we get a turn, we're incredibly favored from here. But there is a chance we don't get a turn. There are 15 cards left in my deck, one of which is a Nexus of Fate. Yep. Oh, are we dead? I think we're dead, right? Nexus plus Scapeshift. That probably does it. Unless they miscounted here. Hopefully they just like put a bunch of lands into play here and make 0 zombies. That would be great. Rats. 38, 36 will do. On to the postboard game. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Moondris. I agree. Like this deck a lot. All right, Grazer and Disfigure are the easy cuts. Want to bring in Trophy, Pulse, Ego. I think this is a Stroke and Remorse matchup. Maybe this isn't a Stroke matchup. Trying to hold this up when there are 4x Teferi deck is probably challenging. Blast Zone's not very good here. Yeah, honestly, I think it would probably be fine if they suspended Nexus in this format. I think there's a lot of arguments you could make for that. I think if you determine decks like what I'm playing and or what our current opponent's playing are too good, I think Nexus of Fate should be the card they explore getting rid of. If Nexus is banned, how much would this deck change? Not much. Honestly, you probably just play differently, more so than changing the actual deck list. Like, with the way this deck is currently set up, you just get to play fast and loose with flipping cards into your discard pile, and you just like have to stop being fast and loose about it. It might be wrong to play this here because of Veto and Dispute. It might be right to just play a Rejuvenator that turn. Hopefully, Maelstrom Pulse. I think I'm just playing Yarok here. Maybe I'm supposed to do this. So, for people that are like trying to say, you just play Mill Jace, you play faster, you play these other cards, you don't understand why Nexus of Fate is good. Nexus of Fate is good because you don't have to actually draw the card for it to protect you from decking. That's the reason why it's good. It's good because you never have to actually draw it. Ooh, that's a good one to get rid of. With all those other cards, you have to draw them or like not escape it and then pick it back up with Cavalier of Thorns. Why is 50k shills for bump a deck by 10 out of stock? Oh, I forgot that there's technically a limit that I put in there on those. I'm gonna leave that there.
I've got time.
I don't have time to go in and adjust that today. It'll be available again tomorrow. Should restock every day. That's pretty sweet in their deck. Hey Ryan, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Just keeping me around. Land I don't have. Ding ding ding. Hey, Thaltos, thanks for the 16 months. Welcome back. I probably want to Maelstrom Pulse this Azcanta next turn, huh? We'll do, Ziggs. I'll be here as long as folks like you keep me around. Thanks for keeping me here. Thassa is kind of like a slow, indestructible Yarok. How does that comparison make any sense at all? Can you explain? I don't think those cards are similar at all. Zephyr, thanks for keeping on. Oh, yeah, now the Azcanta takes forever to flip. Sweet. So I don't have to kill it this turn, because now I get to do this into this. She doubles triggers, kinda, but like the types of things like in my opponent's deck, she's not doubling Field of the Dead triggers, right? Like Yarok does a lot. I give you Exhibit A. So like, yeah, in some decks, she's doubling up the same things, but in these decks, she's not doubling up the same things. Sure, yeah, she's doubling, in a very specific subset of things she's doubling. I think I'm actually just keeping that, huh? Nah, I'm gonna bottom. Let's try and find another thing that propels us forward in terms of mana. I have 3 removal spells in my hand. Perfect. Super rewarded. House passes coronavirus bill, which includes paid sick leaves for workers. Did it pass with the clause that it exempts companies that have 500 plus employees in it? That Republicans made sure was there, so it won't apply to companies like McDonald's and other large companies that desperately should be included. All right, fine. Yes, or grocery store chains. It also allows hardship exemptions to be filed for companies under 50 employees. So it only forcibly applies to companies between 51 and 499 employees. Why isn't there a number next to their zombies? That's so sad. I think 5 gives you a number, probably.
That's more like it.
All right, let's start by attacking Teferi and see if they sweep. Okay, and then we'll trophy this. And then we'll cast... We'll cast this. And then ideally we're going to hit a green or black source here as well. And we'll get to trophy their Azcanta. We get an Uro there, which is great. Well, they can answer our zombies every turn by combo killing us. That's how we did the same thing last game and then they combo killed us, so, you know. Yeah, I think egoing Nexus is fine. I think what you're supposed to be egoing is definitely context dependent. I think our deck is definitely the better Field of the Dead deck, so we're more likely to win. Yeah, this is exactly how we lost last game, right? So we're dead again here unless they misclick, which doesn't look like they did. So yeah. Nexus of Fate was probably the card that should have been suspended from the format to begin with, and I say that as someone who's playing a deck with Nexus in it, right? I think I might throw a 4th ego in our sideboard. I don't think 3-mana Teferi's going anywhere. That card's remained legal in every format that it's legal in. I'm going to concede once they put their Field of the Dead triggers on the stack, but I'm going to make sure they click the right lands before they do it. I don't think I have... I think it's worse. I think Ghost Quarter's worse than all of my other colorless lands, Chalky. I think Field of Ruin is better for that type of slot. They could have DC'd too. Yeah, fair. Are we actually dead? Yeah, they'll get 2 more Fields of the Dead. And then those Field of the Deads plus every land they get makes 4 zombies. So like if this Scape Shift resolves, they're going to have like 40 zombie tokens. Every land they put into play with the Scape Shift makes 4 zombies. They cast Nexus of Fate this turn for people that are like, well, why are you dead? That's why we're discussing Nexus of Fate. They cast Nexus of Fate and Scape Shift. Well, it looks like they DC'd. Feels Magic Arena, man. I've been playing green-red. How to deal with Cavalier? Yeah, Embercleave. Kill them. Put Embercleave on your creature and trample over it. We played to our outs, chat. Magic is a skill game with low variance. The better player always wins. Nah, this is only game 2 and they're up a game. So, like, if they misclick, they just go to the next one. Probably got Comcasted. I'm supposed to be skiing out of state watching you instead. Guess to why? Yep. Staying home is good for the safety of yourself and others. Yeah, maybe they just got disconnected and they just came back. Maybe I should have Stroke in my deck. I don't know. Like, Stroke would have been good at multiple points there, but every time Stroke would have been good, my opponent just had Teferi in play. In fact, I think I might turn this third Stroke into a fourth Ego. And just, like, go ham on that axis. There's no guarantee that I lost there. We don't know that my opponent had appropriate lands in their deck to trigger their things. I also wouldn't mind playing this matchup some more in a third game, so, yeah. Opponent correctly getting Field of the Dead down ASAP. I'm excited to miss a land drop on turn 3 in my 30 land deck. I boarded a land out, so we boarded all the way down to 30 lands post board here while we're on the draw. What's the Hyper Geo on that? What's the Hyper Geo on 30 lands? Now I gotta look. Sample size is 3. Wow, that's actually higher than I was thinking. So, according to the hypergeometric calculator, we're gonna, 10% of the time, we're gonna miss our third land drop, keeping 2 lands on the draw with no looks. It's a pretty high rate. Feels high to me. Couldn't Stroke be Mystic Dispute in general? No, I don't think that's true. And yeah. Like what, again, like, don't talk about generics, talk about specifics. What matchups are you, well, now we're just unlucky. All right, by turn 5, we're 98.1% to have hit our land. Leet Bert, thanks for the 7 months, welcome back. We'll be the 1% and concede when we miss again next turn. What a rancid stain of an application in game. They disconnect to lose game 2 most likely. We keep a 2-lander on the draw in our 30-land deck and miss. Alright, I would add a 4th Ego for that matchup. Captain Zap Brannigan, thanks for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. No, you usually sideboard on a land, Wargy. Usually you look at your colorless lands and one of them's not good and you board it out for a spell. Can you speculate on why they would include white castle instead of blue castle in their deck? Probably because they want more win conditions. Sure. Probably because they wanted tiny steamed burgers, probably. Yeah, that's actually probably the answer. They're probably playing one of each because their deck cares about differently named lands. Greens on greens. Thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oaklandia. We're having a wonderful Monday wherever you're at in the world. Waste not, want not, chat. Waste not, want not. Punish your dumpster. Thanks for upping that prime. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Have some mana. Gosh, Arch of Orazca is probably really good here, huh? Would you go play Paper Magic in the current climate? Anybody playing Paper Magic in the current climate is irresponsible at best and malicious at worst. Gengrade, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
My sword is your death knell.
All non-optional activities that you take part in need to stop. All of them. If it is not necessary for you to live, do not leave your house to go do it. Whatever, fuck off. Sorry. I'm timing out everybody. I'm timing out everybody that knew what I meant and then decided to actually me. Sorry. I'm trying to swear extra less because there's extra kids at home with people being off, but get out of here. Ain't got time for you. Okie doke. Hey, Bob, thanks for the 31 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Been lurking in the background for a while now and finally the opportunity to support. Thanks for all the content. Great stuff all around. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. It's Waste Not competitive. I would be incredibly surprised if Waste Not was competitive in any format of Magic the Gathering. Pulled a sneaky on him there. So we'll do this. Gain some life. Alright, and we hit the city's blessing there. So we've got the ability to start activating Arc. This game should run away at this point. I think there was a small window where they could have won, but we've taken over. In other news, 12 weeks ago, the WHO had a starter kit that Trump denied. Today, a Kushner company launched its testing center locator. We're being grifted, and it's going to cost lives and possibly the economy. Yes, Trump should go down as one of the greatest grifters in history.
What a whiner.
If you can't tell that Trump is a con man at this point, you're the mark, chat. Okay. These new lands. For $12.50, you can buy the full set of these new full art basics in the shop. They look gorgeous though. Big fan. What's a grifter? A person that travels around and cons people. Think monorail guy from The Simpsons. Accurate. Alright, so I had to kill our friends to accomplish this as well, but I think that's worthwhile. Monorail. All the Simpsons episodes are on Disney Plus, by the way, if anybody's looking for other non-Twitch things to binge while you're stuck inside. Why do I care about Davriel? Because the only way I lose this game is through something super wonky like burning me out, and killing Davriel just means that's less likely to happen.
This mask is intimidating. Let me pick your brain for a minute.
Have I mentioned that Nexus is a stain? That the more and like I feel like looking at that and diagnosing what the Field of the Dead decks are doing, that's really the card that stands out to me personally as like things that are not okay going on. Even the one of is pretty offensive. Even the one of is. If they look up and conclude that like these decks are winning too much, I think Nexus of Fate's probably the card they should get rid of. Someone at my kid's school forgot to turn off school picture notifications. I got an email that school picture day is coming up on Thursday, chat. Strong feeling that one's not happening. The whole school's being closed and all. Sure. Things we're not going to do against the discard deck. Mulligan. There are 600 different ways you could design this card and have it not be an offensive mistake. And they instead chose to do none of them. You changed my Magic life when I watched your last MCQ. What happened this weekend? Did I miss it? I played half a match of Magic in the MCQ, and I realized my life was too short to continue playing the current standard format. So I elected to instead spend my Saturday playing Raid Shadow Legends and playing Switch with Declan. And I regret nothing. It was a good decision. Sir Phil, thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. I think I'm just discarding a land here. Yeah, I'm gonna discard that. Let them draw. What are we playing on Switch? We have been playing the Harry Potter Lego game, and we've been playing Mario Party. What's wrong with Standard? Standard right now is mostly a cluster. All the good decks in Standard. The good decks in Standard all involve your opponent saying, hey, pick that card up. Hey, pick that card up. Hey, pick that card up. Hey, pick that card up.
Let's tidy up in there.
Mario Kart was one of the first games we got with it, and it's fine, but we've just played it a ton at this point. Oh, you know what? I probably should have played this rather than the breeding pool, because I already had a breeding pool in play. Yes, along with the healthy dose of no, you can't put that back down. Playing against Endless, Teferi, and Brazen Borrower decks. Well, that's just good deck building right there.
Perish the thought. Struggling?
How's Historic? I've enjoyed Historic so far. It's important to know that Historic's still in a very developing phase. There's new cards that were recently interjected, so it's hard to know, like, what the top decks will be. Like, Standard was great when we were still exploring it, right? And now that it's settled down, the decks that it's settled down into, I don't really love the play patterns of. But Historic also, by the virtue of how the format's being designed, it will also stay fresh longer because of the rate at which cards are going to be injected into it. So Historic is going to get new cards every 6 weeks or more often, whereas Standard is only getting new cards every 3 months, right? Sure, yeah, I mean, new formats are always fun. That's something I've said pretty constantly here on stream. There's nothing wrong with primarily. I think a lot of people, especially people that wind up on this channel, are people who enjoy the deck building aspect just as much, if not more, than the actual playing of Magic. Like, there's a lot of people here that are mostly interested in brewing, right? So, the fact that people here, much like myself, tend to enjoy unexplored formats, I don't think that's that far outside of the norm. I don't think this card is good. I think 2 mana cards like this that don't impact the board and you don't have control over what effects you're getting out of them are not good enough. Thanks for keeping on with the Prime Sub, Deerlick. I would be incredibly surprised if Waste Not is a card that ends up in anything competitive in this format. It is definitely a fan favorite card that I expect will see a lot of play, but I don't think it'll be competitive. If you are not someone who's into keeping, the historic ladder is the same ladder as the standard ladder. There's just one constructed ladder. The other thing to understand, though, if you don't pay attention to Magic Arena, this month, if you're interested in qualifying for a meaningful event, there is no meaningful event you can qualify for this month. This month qualifies you for an event that awards points and it awards gems. It doesn't award anything that, like, anybody who's not, if you're not in the MPL and you're not in Rivals and you don't think you're going to qualify for the MPL or Rivals, there's very little reason to play in the event that you qualify for this month, in my opinion. I mean, they literally just had a Thing Conqueror where people were playing Historic Brawl. So like that was one of the specialty formats they like literally just had. So to answer your question, yeah, probably. Oh yeah, Flying V is totes a sub. Looks like they're playing something close to the Red Black Titan deck we've played on stream before. So April, the month of April should qualify you for, the month of April should qualify you for an event that qualifies you for an invitational, but this month does not qualify you for anything like that. I don't know, probably just like the fourth Disfigure. Like we talked about it earlier, and the big thing if this deck lost Nexus of Fate is that you would just have to play the grindy matchups differently. Like, with the Nexus of Fate in your deck in this archetype, you just, like, willy-nilly dump cards into your graveyard. And, like, if Nexus of Fate were to be banned, you would just have to put some thought into how you sequence your cards from there on out. You can't just, like, double Cavalier of Thorns trigger without thinking about it. No, Gaia's Blessing doesn't do it. See an increase in your viewer count? I've not. Top 10 hammer. I also think a lot of people really aren't taking it seriously, though. My speculation is that even if viewer... We're dead here, right? Even if viewer... I guess I have... Yeah, let's do one more. I can jump block here, potentially. Even if viewer counts on Twitch as a whole do go up, there's probably a good chance more people are going to be streaming in general. So I'd be surprised if average concurrent viewer counts rise in a meaningful way. I agree, Steam Vlogger. Christy and I got out ahead of the curve in a nice way. We had food and stuff purchased long before there were any rushes or empty shelves. Oh, and we're down to just 3 now, right? So we should just be dead? Yeah, because this trigger kills us. We don't have good data, really, to, like, really study the effects in everyone. Like, the data sets are all small. But so far, one of the kind of silver lining things about the whole thing is that kids don't seem to be largely impacted by COVID-19. Just like most respiratory things don't impact children most of the time, from my understanding. Swordsliss, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. So Disfigure and Grazer both seem kind of medium here. This exile stuff, so that seems good. Murderous Rider and Trophy kill their 6/6. Cast down's probably fine. Kills Phoenix. You leave one Grazer in. Flu can get kids pretty bad. Yeah, this is different than a flu, though, right? The strain of virus that this is more similar to a cold than a flu, from my understanding of the science. I don't have a formal medical background, though. If someone has a different understanding, feel free to link a source and correct. Raceway Warrior, thanks for the 17 months. Welcome back. The comparisons to the flu were largely because there are a lot of bad faith actors like our president, Donald Trump, trying to redirect and call this not a big deal by comparing it to flu deaths. It's closer to a contagious pneumonia. Yes. She needed distilled water because distilled water makes you immune to corona. Hi, corona. Ooh. This is a good draw because this is going to pop into play and get us a land, but it's going to fill the graveyard up for Uro as well. Yeah, I mean, anyone with a brain knows that the words that come out of Donald Trump's mouth tend to be lies, and that the reason why the case count in the United States was low was because he was keeping it low by strangling our access to testing. When this gets bad, and it likely will get bad due to the lack of response, there will be a lot of blood on Donald Trump's hands. And anybody that helped elect that narcissistic psychopath is in part responsible for his part in all of this, in my opinion. I think I just take these hits. There was a case of a pregnant woman passing COVID to her newborn. Yeah, so Christy's been looking up a lot of stuff surrounding this, obviously, since she's 7 months, or almost 7 months pregnant. And from what she's read, there are cases of that passing it to a newborn. There's also cases of it not being passed. And again, just like sample sizes are small and it's hard to know what's good info and what's bad info. Alright, I would like some zombie friends, please. Thank you. Canada closing borders to non-Canadians. Good. Everyone should be discouraging travel. If an activity is optional, you should be skipping it right now. If you don't need to do an activity to live and it involves leaving your house, don't do it. Now, I'm not saying what I'm about to say to downplay the impact of this, but I just want to gauge what a normal year looked like and what that increase in fatalities. What's the normal average number of deaths in the United States from all things per year? Does anybody know offhand? Like, what was the total number of people who died in the United States in 2019, for example? Does anybody have that metric? 2.7 million-ish. Wow, that is a even just comparing, like, that is if 1 million is accurate, that is a huge increase. Oh. 2.8 million in 2017 per the CDC. That the total number for the year is more useful than death rates per 1,000 people, I think. At least from an eyeball glance. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be... I mean, people always go without food in the United States because we're a god-awful first world country. But in general, like, people who have access to things like grocery stores and supply chains will hopefully be staying open through this. Like, the goal is that, like, by everybody else minimizing things that aren't necessary like that, the people that are completing those necessary tasks are at less risk. I think I'm cycling this. I guess it's my third green source. Do I just hold on to this then? Do I just like drop this like it's hot? I think that's actually the plan. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Can't confirm. Grocery stores stay open if crisis management is somewhat organized. Yeah, I'm glad I'm really glad. You know, I don't often say I'm glad to live in Illinois, but like the current governor that we had has like really stepped up during all of this and managed things incredibly well from my perspective and in my opinion. So like, even though the Trump admin is currently being the Trump admin, I have a small amount of faith in my local government. Think I'm ditching am I ditching this? Do I think I'm going to survive to get to this Yarok? No, I'm going to bin the Yarok. Okay, gets me a scribe. Sign me up. Rejuvenator. I think I'm keeping Rejuvenator here because their next turn is likely to be Escape Kroxa, and then I'll discard Temple, and then we'll Rider the Kroxa plus play Rejuvenator out. Yeah, Jared, so what you need to understand is that I've heard people say they have hope that, like, the Trump administration's handling of this whole thing will, like, wake some people up from, like, that still support Donald Trump. You need to understand that people still supporting Trump before this whole thing happened, they're effectively in a cult. And reality and seeing things happen in front of their face likely still will not break them of their support of that cult. And it's super frustrating, but it's reality. So, thinking through my sequencing here, if I discard this temple, and then I go to 5, and then I kill this, go to 3, when they escape this back, it kills me, right? So I think I'm actually supposed to discard this so I don't lose 3. I think we might be dead here. Marty said he had been having a pretty good time with the black-red deck beating up the Field of the Dead decks. And it's got a really impressive mix of pressure and disruption. Kroxa and other things pressuring our hand has been really good here for them. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're just dead. That was what our last grocery order was, Talrand. Hy-Vee does that. Order your groceries online and then just pick them up at the store. Someone wheels the cart out to you. I mean, I don't know that people are really eating up what Joe Biden is selling in terms of his lies and like comparing the things that Biden's being disingenuous in a way that's pretty typical of neoliberal politicians. It's still not really comparable to like what Trump is doing and has done on the regular. I think there's a lot of people that are supporting Joe because they've been convinced that Bernie can't win and they're just terrified of 4 more years of Trump and they just want to go with what they feel is the safest choice. And I don't agree with that, but I think that's definitely what's happening with most of those people. Thanks for the 28 months, Cousin Vin. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yes, in my opinion, the way Trump has handled his interactions with voters should be disqualifying for reasonable people. But people aren't reasonable when they're scared. Hello, oldest. I'm not used to you coming in. Usually it's Declan. What are you doing? Flip. You're very funny.
Well, that made me crazy.
You're crazy? Hey, I'm kind of inclined to agree with that.
Daddy, clouds. Really bad crazy.
You are kind of crazy. You're not wrong.
Hey, whatever, now why, Mr. Bear? Sometimes I know why be. So, Daddy go for Kage. Well, we met Daddy. Oh, Mommy, Dabble,
You miss Daddy?
We met Daddy, yeah.
Well, you guys are great. I love you.
Sometimes Daddy wins a trophy.
Sometimes Dad wins trophies?
Yeah.
Not very often.
So and now that they do Peru and Rook and Car and Ibu.
Love you, dude.
Hey, Daddy.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm glad we have another field in our hand.
One more thing, Daddy. One more thing.
One more thing? What's up? Love you, dude. I'm actually kind of glad we're getting beat up a little bit today. I think it should be a good dose of this deck's not just busted and there are good ways to attack it. In a way, I want there to be good ways to attack this archetype in the format just because I want to be able to play this archetype because I generally enjoy playing it. He wanted me to get him a toy down out of the closet, but the toys are up in the closet and he's got plenty of other things out. Heliod and Ajani make this matchup tough. I don't know if I strictly agree with that. Like, the fact that they had Ghost Quarter take me off Field of the Dead, maybe. But like, I think on average we can get blockers down a lot of the time here. Those are pretty good hits as well. Yeah, I think Disfigure is just better than Ritual Assault. I think you'd rather just prevent things from getting out of hand to begin with. Could also go like this. This is probably fine. I think I just do this. And then I take 8, go to 2. And then next turn, I get to escape Uro, play a land. That's not bad. I can also crack Blast Zone this turn. Yes, we're having our first girl. Can a mod create a Nexus of Fate command?
New Paw Patrol!
You need new Paw Patrol?
Yeah! New Paw Patrol.
You are really good at making all of my stuff fall off, you know that?
New Paw Patrol, new Paw Patrol.
Why do you need new Paw Patrol?
I want to watch it.
You want to watch new Paw Patrol?
Yeah, I want to watch every season.
Every season?
Yeah. Yeah? Yeah, Daddy? Let's watch Paw Patrol.
I don't know.
Buy new Paw Patrol. Buy it. Please.
Please? How do you ask nicely?
Please, you buy new Paw Patrol.
Okay. Like, what do you think, chat? Should we get new Paw Patrol?
Chat.
Well, I know what your vote is. I was asking chat what they think about it.
What's happening to the big bar?
The big bar's going across because Dad's timing out because you're in the room.
Well, the...
So killing their 1-drop here in response, go tell mommy. Chat said you can have new Paw Patrol.
Yeah.
Close the door. I love you. Oh, so pass. All right. Nice to catch the stream. I got my wisdom teeth taken out Friday, which is maybe not the best idea with everything closed. I mean, to be fair, you don't really want to go out and do much after wisdom teeth are out anyways. How's the resale market for... So, we have Noggin through... Okay, dude. Oh, that's a good one. And then I only have 3 cards in the bin now, but this is 4 or 5. So I can attack with this. And then, yeah, okay, so we'll do this. And then we'll do this. Yeah, I think we're gonna win this game. Yeah, we get to fetch, and then we get to cycle, and then Uro attacks, puts a land into play, and then we re-escape Uro. So Paw Patrol, there's There's a service called Noggin on Amazon that lets you stream kids videos, and it includes a bunch of them, but of course it doesn't include all of the seasons of Paw Patrol, and they're finally old enough to understand that they're rewatching the same episodes again and again. So, I've bought a couple extra seasons. I ended up buying a couple of extra seasons for him, and then through this staying in the house, he's probably going to end up with most of them. He does watch the seasons like 3 or 4 times through, but eventually he's like, nah, I'm off it. Once you have small children, chat, there is no more silence. There's only Paw Patrol. All right, so typical aggro game plan here. We board out Risen Reef, we board out Yarok, we board out one of our colorless lands, Arc, we bring in all of the removal. Is Krista gonna get mad at chat for saying, I mean, in a way, chat pays for Paw Patrol seasons to be bought, so, you know. 7 Twitch subs is a new season of Paw Patrol. It's that expensive. Yeah, it's like buying a set of DVDs, basically. It's like $20 for the 13 or 14 episodes. This should be 2 episodes equals 1 half hour of them being quiet equals 1 hour of you being something like that. I think we bought him this since we don't have black sources. Do you ever board out 2 lands? Or am I not cutting enough Risen Reef so I board it? Usually I don't go below 30 lands. Doing my part for the Paw Patrol. Thanks for the Prime, J Dale. It's very circular, right? Like Amazon / Bezos gives me Twitch Prime money, and then I give it back to Amazon. Thanks, Dr. Mr. Putty. Dude, if you take it upstairs to mommy, she will help you, I promise.
Help me.
Paw Patrol of the queue. Alright, can our 30 land deck draw a 4th land? Sweet. It's not the green source I wanted for Christmas, but beggars won't be choosers. That's a 2nd green source and a black source for Maelstrom Pulse. He was doing so well at closing the door behind himself, too. I think I'm just gaining 6 here. Chat, we should be careful we don't teach the Hoogalets to just ask us whenever they want something. I think I'm just pulsing a Johnny. Nah, let's Yarok since we drew it. Playing Yarok here is a huge payoff if we hit a green source next turn. Although I guess this makes it easier for them to turn on Heliod next turn. Your country prohibited dine-in options, but still allows food trucks. Your county. Yeah, Illinois, a lot of the states have just been closing in, dining in, and they're still allowing takeout in places. Can you do daily and weekly wins and historic? I believe for ranked, yeah. Yeah, you can. Continuing the Paw Patrol subtrade. Thanks for the 5 months. Ultimate mistake. Alright, let's see if they have a Conclave Tribunal here or something. Apparently today broke the record for the number of users simultaneously using Steam. They really wanted, Declan really wanted Beyblades for Christmas, and those are technically a toy that's like for kids a little bit older than they're in the bracket for, so he struggles to get his Beyblade together himself. Alright, so Sarah here is about to pop up. But I'm on 15 life, so hopefully we can survive a turn here and then clean up next turn. This thing is going to be a 8-8 at least, maybe a 9-9. Just tape a few razor blades to a golf ball, and it's a do-it-yourself Beyblade. I really hope you don't have children. Yeah, I said 8-8 or 9-9. That was counting the +5/+5 for them hitting 30. Unironically, the Beyblade parts market is insane. Alright, so that's an incredible draw. Alright, so this has 2 shots at an untapped land. And if this hits an untapped land on either of these 2 shots, we get to Blast Zone this turn. Alright, so do I guarantee the untapped land, or do I get the second Field of the Dead? I have a chump block here. I have a chump block. No, I actually want to leave the basics in my deck. The odds of milling all 4 basics are low, and leaving the extra basic in my deck is potentially very good should I... It gives me more untapped lands to hit. So long as we don't get 4 mana a Johnny, if we hit this land here, we're a pretty big favorite to win. Okay, so we missed. Okay, so now we're dead to any removal spell. Yeah, we're dealing clock damage. Yeah, so they have Iliad that's also lethal, but a lot of these decks don't have room for that card. Last card could definitely be a Johnny. You're not wrong. So I gambled a little bit here. Let's see if we get punished for it. Okay. To be fair, honey, chat did basically pay for it. They're good people. We also babysit. Twitch chat plays babysitter. Whoa, do they just not attack? That's so good for me. Well, now what are we doing? I think we start with this, right? I mean, I guess they didn't want to give me my choice of card to put back on top of my deck. Yeah. I mean, like, there's a bunch of removal spells in my bin. They don't know that my hand is stacked full of removal regardless. So, like, you know. Do I want to kill their 1-drops before I make zombies? Probably. Yeah, we're just gonna, like, clean out their board and attack with arrows. And, like, the reason why they probably finally conceded there was because, we were gonna be able to deal enough damage to them at that point that a Johnny was no longer gonna be an out to sweep the board. Daily Deal says what? Yeah, I'll probably use that one at some point. All right, all things considered, I think I'm probably going to update the list on the website to have the Maelstrom Pulses main. Pretty minimal changes for what we've been playing, but I think pretty reasonable overall still. We put the Pulses in the main over the Murderous Riders. I put 4 Unmoored Egos into the sideboard. I think those are pretty good changes. The Bant matchup felt tough if we didn't resolve Ego, so I think just maximizing Ego seems fine. I think there could also be an argument for maxing out on Agonizing Remorses as opposed to splitting them with Disdainful Stroke, just because this is a card that's, like, decent against, like, Black-Red Titan, and, like, this card really sucks against other Scapeshift decks that are playing Teferi. Like, you just can't hold it up all the time. And, like, if you don't have this card in your deck, you could generally just ignore their Teferi in a lot of situations, so I could see playing 4 and 0 potentially being correct. At any rate, I'm going to hit a quick ad roll while I get the client restarted and we get flipped over to the next one. When we get back, we're going to combo some people. So we're going to fire back up with some Kisis of the Hidden Hand here, which the main deck I don't think wanted any cards from the new Anthology set, but I do have a few copies of Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, here in the sideboard. So we'll be back in just a few. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. BRB.